Welcome back to another episode of Straight Facts. I'm Terry Flewers from the Football Terrace. We're sponsored today by our friends over at Private Internet Access, one of the world's leading VPN providers. You can get up to 84% off of their current deals to protect your internet access, to protect your data, and have access to worldwide streaming. At the end of this stream, click on the link in our description below or the link pinned to the live comment section to check out the latest deals and offers from Private Internet Access, sponsoring our show Straight Facts today with myself and Jessica Black. Hit that like and share button. It's a big show this afternoon, and we're live. Jess, how are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. How are you?
I'm very excited. Champions League football tonight. Ralf's at the helm. We're going to have some kids, some very talented kids on the bench. Big links to Ten Hag today in the media. Fans calling for it. And United, suddenly it feels like we've just got first world, as you said backstage, it's like we've got first world problems only. So yeah, I'm very happy. How about you? How are things in the land of Gooners?
Same old. Always a win away from feeling like we're on the top of the world, or a loss away from feeling like everything is capitulating. So, yep, always in the balance here in Goonerville. But thank you for asking.
It's always a pleasure. And look, viewers, by the way, what are you thinking of the studio settings today? New angle, blue lights, little faded background. Want to know what you were thinking and feeling. We are going to be doing a lot more content from here, especially in the new year. So I thought, start as we mean to go on. I hope you're liking it. I hope you're liking it today. But loads to delve into today. Lots of stories. COVID issues at Tottenham. Man United's next managerial appointments. A few stories floating around about that today as well. Rashford, big talking point today. Rashford, should he be dropped? We're going to get into all of that on today's show. I did want to start, though, actually, with Arsenal, to be fair. Some fairly positive news for Arsenal in the press today. Talk about yourselves looking at trying to go out as soon as possible and bring in an established, a top quality, a top-class striker. Fabrizio Romano linking you with a move again for Lautaro Martinez. Maybe that's doable this forthcoming summer. Like, what's the latest on Arsenal and your kind of pursuit of new players, especially a striker?
Well, it's long overdue. Over the summer, it was a big talking point that we needed a striker. It's obvious that we do, but the club chose not to make it a priority, probably because they made two errors. You know, they decided that going with just Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka was good enough, and going with Lacazette and Aubameyang was good enough. And we're not even halfway through the season, and it's pretty obvious that we probably should have addressed both positions, but we didn't, and I understand why they didn't. But if they feel like there's a chance to get into the top 6, which again feels like the ceiling for this team, then they have to move some of those, at least one of those moves up a window. They just have to. Like, Arteta's doing he's wants to play in a certain way. He doesn't want to play to Aubameyang's strengths. It's going to be really difficult for you to ask somebody who's a goal scorer. That's all he's ever been, is a goal scorer. Never been a leader, never been a captain, always been a goal scorer, to be unselfish and play in build-up and set up Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka for goals. So for me, it's at this point, I feel like they need to move the striker situation up a window. If they don't, we can kiss top 6 goodbye. There's just no way we will sustain going through I mean, Emile Smith-Rowe and Odegaard have the same amount of goals as Aubameyang and Lacazette. That just doesn't make sense, So for me, I think we need to do it. Now, whether or not they'll spend the money, because at this point you're desperate. It's January, so you're going to have to overspend. But you have to get whoever you wanted to get, not a loan, not some guy that's sitting on somebody's bench. You have to just go ahead and get it. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but I wouldn't even be surprised if one of Lacazette or Aubameyang or even both leave in January, because I feel like there's something going on there. So, and I wouldn't be too sad to see them go, if I'm honest.
I think you need, look, I think signing a new striker is good for the club. Lautaro Martinez should have got done in the summer. It's getting played down now. You know, they didn't want to sell. They wanted to wait until now. I kind of get that the Inter are going to paint this picture of, oh, we wanted to get a new deal so we get more money from him in the future. He was available as far as I could tell in the summer. You should have acted. You should have put that money down. We can see now with Arsenal, there have been improvements, but you lack, it doesn't, age isn't always the issue. It's about quality as well. You lack superstars in your team. There's some really good young up and coming talent. I think some of the players you bought in the summer are great. But you ain't got stars, and your stars are letting you down. Xhaka never good enough. Thomas Partey, he said it himself. He's been a 4 out of 10 at Arsenal. He's been absolutely atrocious. Aubameyang's gone mentally, physically in this system. Lacazette's never been here, let alone gone. I think signing a striker, though, is just, again, papering over cracks. I feel like until you address the managerial situation and you bring somebody in with experience, somebody who's sort of nearer the top of his game, essentially, nearer the top of his game, nearer firing on all cylinders, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. It may get you into the top 6, but that can't be the standards of Arsenal. And I'm not surprised to see Arsenal Football Club allowing these kind of links for players to go out now. What a great time to start selling to fans that you're looking at star players to come in after 2 back-to-back humbling defeats. And I think that until it's a bit like Man United, you know, we had a substandard manager for so long, and we tried. Some of us put faith in him. Some of us gave him time. Some people wanted him out from day one. But the end result was, no matter how, in fact, we got worse, the better the quality in our squad got.
Well, that's kind of where I sit at this point. I get what you're saying, but they're never going to sack him until it's very, very obvious that he's not the guy. And there's still some people, and I think the club too, that believe we're a striker and a midfielder away from all of this stuff clicking. And I want the quicker we get those players in, because no matter what you think about Mikel Arteta, any manager that comes in, the first thing that they're going to want is a striker and a midfielder. It doesn't matter who it is. That's what they're going to want. So the faster that we get those players in and it does or doesn't work, the less excuses there are, because that's the last excuse that he really has for the people in the fan base that feel like we're just a player away. Once he gets his striker and his midfielder, if we're not looking like a competent attacking team, we're still bleeding goals and we look lost on the pitch, then it's all him at that point. It's his whole entire team. So for me, I get that it's papering over the cracks, but the quicker he gets his team and fails, the faster that they'll replace him, or it goes in the right direction. You know, you never know.
Yeah, you're right. I think but your first train of thought is a little bit like Arsenal fans that think, I'd just rather lose loads and embarrassingly just to get rid of him quickly. But theirs is the more quicker solution. Yours is slightly longer, but the end result's the same. It's almost, he needs to be exposed to a certain level of embarrassment before they get rid of him. But look, Lautaro Martinez is gettable. He was gettable in the summer. He was willing to join Arsenal in the summer. You just got to go out there and get it done.
Well, wouldn't you rather do it now than because that's the other part of it as well, is at some point, like even that Vlahovic guy doesn't want to come to us. And it's obvious why, because we don't have Champions League. I mean, let's be real. So it's kind of like, if you wait to the end of the season and you're outside of the top 6 and you don't have Europe, I mean, wouldn't you rather do it in the middle of the season?
Did you see
No,
what
I haven't seen.
See what Fabrizio put out, or what he said, or what he tweeted? One of the two. I've seen quotes. I think he said it.
He said he doesn't want to come.
Yeah, but that wasn't the funny bit. I'm not laughing that he doesn't want to come. It was the way Fabrizio is being typical Fabrizio, who tries to make every club feel good. When he said Vlahovic to Arsenal is complicated. And it's complicated because he doesn't want to join Arsenal. It's like, it's not complicated, mate. That is like that's unyielding. It's like, it's not even an L as such, but it's like, don't say it's complicated. Just say there's no chance. Right now, there is 0 chance because the player doesn't want to join. And it does look like Spurs are going to get him. And I think that that's another big message. You know, it's not a huge thing, but if Spurs are attracting players that you can't, something's got to change at your club. Spurs should never be a more attractive option than Arsenal. Not for the size, not for the history, not for the heritage, not for the money you spend. You should always be in front of Tottenham, but you're not in terms of this player. And it's an interesting take. But viewers, what do you think Arsenal, what type of striker, do you think they'll be able to get in? We want your thoughts and your feelings. Get your live comments in as well. I want to see what a few of you are saying in the live comments before we move on from this subject matter. The Undertaker here says, Martinez won't come. You don't have Champions League, is what he's saying there. Do you think Champions League football will be a decisive factor for someone like Vlahovic?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I literally just said. We don't have Champions League, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
some
but
players
you
are just
signed,
not going to want to come.
but you've signed big players without Champions League football before. So do you think it's a decisive factor, or do you feel it's if he's got
For
Tottenham
some
and Arsenal?
players, yes,
He's
like I
looking at
do think
Tottenham and they ain't
so.
got Champions. But Tottenham haven't got Champions League.
They also said that he's looking to go to Man City and other clubs as well. So I don't know. He may just maybe it's a connection between the club. I don't know. It is a deciding factor. And then if you don't have Champions League football, then they're going to look at the manager. Maybe it's Tottenham plus Conte is better than Arsenal plus Mikel Arteta. Neither have Champions League, but
But
it is what it is. So
Antonio Conte and everything. And Conte will be gone in 2 years, and he might take him to his next club, which could be bigger.
yeah.
Get a proper job, Catman. I'm doing just fine, my brother. I'm doing just fine, my brother. A lot of Liverpool fans in the comments saying you can take Divock Origi off of our hands. What do you reckon? Divock Origi, would you be excited about Divock Origi to Arsenal?
I mean, not really, but that's not to say that he's not a good player, but not really. No offense to Liverpool fans. I know better than what we got, but we kind of need better than that, sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Viewers, we want your take. We want your views. Next up, we're talking Man United. They've got the Champions League game tonight against Young Boys. Ralph's added more backroom staff. There's big talk of Ten Hag coming in. And we want to get your views and opinion. Should Marcus Rashford be dropped from the Manchester United team? We want to know now. That is the big question this afternoon. So before we sort of preview what's coming tonight and some of the goings on at Man United, Marcus Rashford has been under a lot of pressure recently from Man United fans since he returned from injury. A lot want him out of the first team. A lot don't want him involved at all right now. We've got a poll currently running here live where 69% of the vote think that he needs to be dropped. We've got the same vote going on the community page. 67% think that he needs to be dropped and given an extended time out of the team, as an example. Currently on Twitter, if I check Twitter, we've got the same poll on Twitter. It's currently at 50-50 with yes and no right now, but there's still a lot of people are suggesting that Rashford needs to be dropped. What's your take? Do you feel like Marcus Rashford is poorly out of form? Do you feel he needs more time under Ralf? Or do you think it's a big call that Rangnick's got to make now to turn around and say, do you know what? I'm going to give Martial a run of games. I'm going to give a young player like a mad a run of games because Rashford, you're just not quite there technically. What's your take?
This is a strange conversation to be having because I could have sworn when he first came back from his injury, he was in amazing form. So I haven't really been paying attention that much to you guys, if I'm really honest. But what has he done so bad? Is it just maybe it's just under a new manager, people want to see other players hopefully come back into form. I don't know. But I could have sworn he was just in good form not too long ago. And now all of a sudden it's head on a stick. It's really weird. He's supposed to be one of your best players. I would imagine that he'd get a little bit more time than this. This feels weird to me because I could have sworn he was doing just fine. Is it just because he doesn't look like he's adapting to the first game under Ralf? What is it? It feels weird. Martial, I feel like if that's what Ralf wants to do, that's what Ralf wants to do. But I feel like Rashford has maybe gained enough good faith to stay in the team a little bit longer and work under Ralf, under these circumstances. It's weird, but yeah. But also when a new manager comes in, everybody wants to see every player under this new manager in this new formation. The first guy doesn't do a good job, so now we want to see something different. But Rashford's one of your best players, so I'm not really understanding why you wouldn't want to give him more time under what Ralf is doing to see if he can adapt to it. It's been 5 minutes. And you guys were as a team in bad form under Ollie a couple of days ago, so I'm not really understanding the shift around Rashford so quickly.
Look, I think a lot of people have wanted Rashford out of the team for a long time. There are a lot of Man United fans that do not like Marcus Rashford. They do not rate him. They think he's, excuse the pun, rash, bad decision maker, technically not gifted enough. There's a lot of focus on that when it comes to Marcus Rashford. He hasn't been great in the last 3 or 4 games that he's started or played in. There's no shadow of a doubt. Yes, he set up a goal against Arsenal, but his overall performance wasn't good. I think Man United fans have got to calm down for me. I think all players need time under this new manager for me. That they really do. They need more time. They need to be given more opportunities. What I do want to see though is Rashford taken out of the team if he isn't performing. So if he gets to play tonight against young boys, which I don't think he will, and he doesn't perform, give someone else a go the next game. I'm not saying that someone shouldn't get more than one game on the bounce if they're not in good form. But the one thing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got so wrong for so long is that you could have Bruno have 4 or 5 bad games on the bounce. Maybe that's an exaggeration for Bruno, and he'd stay in the team. Rashford could go for a 2-month period where he was looking stale and tired, and he kept on getting picked. And I think what ended up happening, fans, we all do this. We start looking at the player rather sometimes more than we do the manager. It depends on who the player is and whether you like them or not. So I kind of feel like I get where people are coming from. He's not been in good form. Equally, Delo and Telles have started very well in the last 2 games. They've played better in those 2 games than we've seen from AWB and Luke Shaw all season. So I think what Man United fans want is an era of meritocracy where you're staying in the team because you deserve it, as opposed to you're seen by some as being the best player for that role, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's what Ralph's got to get right. And my view is this: I think he will get it right. I don't think he'll have favorites, as in, I'm going to play this person irrespective of form. So I think
Don't all
United
managers have favorites, though? I think it's a little bit like all managers
They,
have a couple
they
favorites,
do.
don't they?
They all have favorites because tends not to be a personality thing. It's more of a, do you fit my system? Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure, who's a favorite at Liverpool? Trent. I'd
Salah?
guarantee Salah, Trent, cool. If they went for a 2-month prolonged period of being poor, I think they'd be rested and or dropped. I believe that Klopp would do that. Ollie didn't do that with Rashford, and it led to worse form. It led to games seeing us by, and it led to people turning on the player. So I'm indifferent right now. I don't really care who gets the opportunities first, as long as everybody gets given an opportunity under Ralph. I kind of would like to see Rashford taken out the firing line as well, and to see what happens elsewhere. You know, a lot of people want to see Ahmad and Martial and these players given an opportunity. Let them go first. Let them get their opportunity first and see whether they deliver. As an example, Rashford's still kind of returning from injury for me as well. Like, he hasn't, as you say, he came back in during that whole Ollie situation, and there's lots going on. But yeah, I do feel some of the calls for him to be sacked, dropped a little bit strange. But I do get where people are coming from with it. We have some super chats here. This one says, Rashford at one point carried United until literally he injured his back for carrying United. Literally showed up in big games. People need to.
But see, here's the thing with that type of thing, it's a slippery slope. So I understand that aspect of things, but it kind of has to be based on what they do in the system, like Terry already said, not personality and what they did in the past. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that are still desperate to see Aubameyang keep playing because he helped us win the FA Cup. Like at some certain point, it does become, what have you done for me lately? And this is more soft factory, feel good, he's my favorite type thing. He has to fit the system, but I get what you're saying. It is a slippery slope doing things this way, though. Carrying
Yeah.
United in a bad period, that thing, you know?
There's a comment here from Omar on Twitter, and I think this is perfect. He says, based on the last 5 games, yes, but I don't understand people that want him out the club. And I think that's the key factor here. And this is where Ralph's got to get. This is where, for me, I don't think it's a polarized one. Get him out versus keep him in the team every week. Balance. And if you're in bad form, give him a rest. If he's got an injury, give him a rest. You know, but keep him feeling confident. You know, Ollie would overplay certain people and underplay others, and that would have such a poor effect. It would put too much pressure on the guys being picked every week, because it was like, I need to perform because he ain't subbing me off. He ain't going to drop me. So I've got to deliver. That's weird pressure. Equally, you're sitting on that bench every week, rotting away. And then suddenly, and then randomly, after 6 weeks of barely playing, it's right, you're starting today, but you've got to deliver. It's so difficult to do. John here says, Ollie brainwashed Rashi into running behind when the ball is overturned. He doesn't offer a sure option. He needs time to learn how to play properly, is what John's got to say. Terry, Klopp joined Liverpool without Champions League football. I see that stepping back onto the previous conversation. Nabil here, one of our members, super chat, saying, hello, Miss Title winning defense. How are you?
I guess you can just be in the room when it's said and it becomes what you've said. Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, I don't even think you were in the room. He said it, I swear he said it on a stream with Curran and Lee Gunner. I don't even think you were there, to be honest. But there we go. Sarim here says he needs to be on the bench. He looks rusty as F. He's coming back from a shoulder injury. And I think that's fair. I think being on the bench is probably the right place for Marcus Rashford right now. Keep those votes coming in, people. 67% are now saying that he needs to be dropped. On Twitter, it's just 67%. On the Football Terrace community page on YouTube, 67% say yes. So a lot of people are voting for him to be out of the team. So it feels like a lot of Man United fans, or at least rivals, agree that he needs to be dropped and everything else. I want to say as well, like, I know you've been distracted with the current goings on at Arsenal Football Club, but what's kind of been your take on life under Ralf? He's had new coaching staff join. What's also been announced today is the appointment of a 75-year-old mentor. I don't want to pronounce his name right. I think it's pronounced Helmut Gross, who's come out of retirement to join him as part of his backroom staff to help coach, nurture, and guide things forward. It feels like a real sort of German revolution at Manchester United. At the same time, there's big talk about Erik ten Hag coming in at the end of the season. Like, what's your take on all the really quick turnaround and changes? You know, there's reports today that Ralf stayed behind at Carrington yesterday to personally coach all the youngsters that are going to be involved in the game tonight. Do you feel like there's been a little bit of a kind of shift at Man United in terms of attitude, approach, and whatnot?
I mean, it's a little bit early to say. You know, this is anytime you get a new manager, this is no shade either. This is what happens with every team, no matter what's going on. The media, especially against Manchester United, they chronicle everything that the new manager does and makes it kind of seem like it's something that's never been done before. You know, so staying behind to coach youngsters, yeah, it's for me a little bit similar to Ronaldo comes into you know, the place where everybody eats and says, I don't eat dessert. You get a lot of these stories to kind of, you know, it's media, it's what you want to hear, but you won't really know until you start seeing it on the pitch. Now, that being said, I think you're going to see it on the pitch. This is what you should expect from somebody from Ralf Rangnick. You know, I don't think you should expect anything different, but for him to bring the best experts, the best coaches, you know, and to start things quickly because he has 6 months, you know, to try to turn things around from Ollie in the short term. And then he probably has a big, you know, plan for how things are going to move forward, like in the future. So I feel like, yeah, there's a shift definitely happening, but it's kind of like just what happens when new managers come in. The media just kind of like it eats it up, and all Man United fans are really eating it up. They should, you know, but you'll know when you see it on the pitch and it's clicking. You know, you get those players in the summer, they fit the system, you get the right manager in, which if it's Ten Hag, probably the right guy, you know, to play the attacking football that Man United wants to play. And then, you know, in 12 to 18 months, then maybe you can say like, okay, well, the shift has really happened. But right now they chronicle they'll chronicle like when he goes to the bathroom at the moment, you know, so that's just kind of what it is, you know. Same thing happened with Conte as well. They chronicled almost everything that he did. He wrote on a piece of paper today. Wonderful. Like, you know, it's kind of that thing.
I just hope you're this balanced the next time a positive story comes out of Arsenal and you're like, Like next time Arsenal tweet a picture of Tomiyasu getting a piggyback and say, making friends already, Tommy, I expect to see you be this cynical.
I wasn't, I mean,
Uh,
all you heard
uh,
was,
uh,
I guess, because I didn't give you the right answer, but
no,
I
no.
did say that.
Why do you do that all the time? It's not about the right or wrong answer. That's your answer. I'm asking. I don't think you're overtly wrong. I think that Ralph's doing some good things, but these are things that we should expect from a top class manager.
So what's wrong with my answer then?
Nothing's wrong with your answer. Your answer's perfect. My point was, the next time Arsenal spin you a really positive story, are you going to be as cynical about it, or are you going to be
I
like, no,
I
actually,
rarely, I think I was one of the first people to come on here and say that there are some Arsenal journalists that get stuff from Arsenal and funnel it out to us, and so you can't really believe much of
so,
what they say.
so your
And I
answer
was the
to me
first
is,
person to say that.
so your answer is yes, Terry. I will be then. I won't. I'll treat it the same. But then we're on the same page. What? I don't get the issue here.
Because you said it as if I
No,
have not been that way.
no, I didn't. If I'd have said that, I'd have said
Yeah.
in the past you believe the PR. I asked whether you were going to be, and look, I agree with you. I think we all love to hear these overly positive. So I think what's different with Man United and what would be different with Arsenal with a new manager is if the person is a pedigree, has got a top class pedigree of managing or running clubs. It just feels like we're getting it right. Like we've added a psychologist to our backroom staff. Some Man United fans have been calling for this for a decade, and we haven't had it. So there are some things are legitimately different in this regard. Did Ollie stay behind and coach players? Not really. Ollie wasn't a great coach. So having this man who's going to, I think what's for me is exciting is hopefully he's going to go upstairs at the end of this 6 months. But he's going to have done it having had a hands-on approach from some academy and reserve players right through to the first team. I just think it's going to give him such a different approach when it comes to who we need to buy, and more importantly, who the next manager is. And a lot of talk today about Ten Hag being the next manager of Manchester United. And like, what is your take on it? Do you think Ten Hag would be the right person to come in next for Man United and move things forward, or do you feel as though maybe, is it too early to say? Should it be someone that's more familiar and plays in a more sort of German air, someone that could take the 4-2-2 gegenpress forward, or what? What's your head at right now? Do you feel like it should be that, or do you actually think there might be a risk, and the risk might be the wrong word, that Ralf stays on beyond this 6 months?
It's whatever Ralph wants at this point. He'll know better than anybody. I don't know who's the best person because I don't actually, beyond the 4-2-2, I don't really know what they think beyond that because it's true. That's not how Ten Hag plays. They don't play that way. Like the philosophy is different, but if we're talking about who's a manager that's German that could probably that fits into, you know, um, the philosophy of Ralf Rangnick, you're talking about Nagelsmann that would be on the levels. And I don't see him leaving Bayern Munich at the moment. Maybe he would at the end of the season. Seems a little soon, so you got to kind of pick somebody. Might want to avoid Pochettino. He looks like he's on the ropes there at PSG at the moment. There's word that he's lost the dressing room there. Might want to stay away from him. So it might just end up being the best person for the job at the moment that ticks the most boxes. You might not ever get a manager that ticks every single box. So if you're looking for somebody who may not know how to do the German gegenpress 4-2-2, the next best thing is Erik ten Hag, and I wouldn't understand a single Man United fan who wouldn't want him. I wouldn't
Yeah.
get it.
He's form at the minute as well. I mean, look, they're top of the year Eredivisie, which is great. But look, Liverpool have been rightfully celebrated for being the first English team ever to win 6 from 6 in the group stages. Ajax should never have the same expectations as one of the big teams, one of the big leagues, because they don't have the same money to spend. And they were in a group with some decent clubs in there, including Borussia Dortmund. And they won 6 from 6 as well. Ten Hag is an absolute bad boy. Like he's an absolute brilliant manager. And a few people have sort of said, like, Oh, they don't see how we can play under Ralf for 6 months and then convert to sort of Ten Hag style of play. But you listen to what Ralf said. A manager adapts his system to work at the club that he's at and with the players that they have got. And I do think it's plausible with the football palette that Ralf and Ten Hag have to
Not the
create.
football palette.
Sorry.
The football palette.
Yeah, they've got a great football palette. They have like a chef has got a great palette to taste such different foods. And do you know what? A chef's palette for food.
You're going too hard.
No, listen, you won't let me finish. Just because I
Okay.
get this.
Okay. I'm
A
sorry.
chef's
I'm sorry.
palette. How do I know this? Because Gordon Ramsay said it, and he's a don, right? A chef's palette is what enables them to be able to create and concoct brilliant new recipes and food designs because they work out what goes where. And I believe these two people have such a good football palette that they'll be able to turn around and create a great fusion between, to achieve what Man United want between their two styles. So
Culinary fusion. I love it.
Exactly. I don't
You know what's funny though that I've
on.
noticed about you specifically? Maybe it's just that whoever the manager is, you can find a way to make them sound like the perfect appointment through your words. I love it. Because you shook on Pochettino a little bit when it looked like it might be him. Well,
So no,
you
what
played. I love it.
what I'm talking about is you look at where the positives are. If you're gonna really represent what I said around Poch, I spoke about the bottle tags being there. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I said that he has the bottle job issue. I said that there is how does he manage a club of the expectations of Manchester United? He hasn't won any of the major trophies. Even with Ten Hag, there is still one big question mark over him, and it's how he handles a club the size of Man United, the pressure of Man United in a league where there's so many other competitive teams. But the point is, as I also said in breakdown for all of these managers, is that there is question marks over every single manager we're linked with. The only, in my opinion, 3 perfect candidates that tick every single box are already at Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, respectively. So there are positives for every manager, and there are and there are question marks and/or negatives over it. Even with Brendan Rodgers, I said I think he coaches to play better football, but I don't. But I weren't convinced to get us over the line.
I'm
But when
just
it comes,
poking you. I'm just
I know you
poking
are.
you.
I know
It's
you are. But
just funny.
you'll poke me, and the
Because
viewers will. Then I'll start to get abuse. That's what's going to happen. So thank you very much. Thank you
oh
very
my
much.
gosh. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Someone here says you're absolutely right, Terry. I thought Terry hates Poch. Well, Zaza, if you absolutely go back on what it is, the reason I was teasing about Poch earlier on in the season was because particular Man United fans said guarantee he would have won the league last year with this Man United squad. I just thought it was funny that he didn't then go and win La Liga with a better squad than Man United in a one-horse race. It wasn't an attack at Poch. It was having banter with friends of mine on social media like, there's a difference, my bro.
I just feel like it's just so funny because, like, Conte's not right, but then as it looks like he's getting closer, he's the right guy. Pochettino, nah, bottle job. Getting closer to that job, yeah. Just joking. I'm sorry.
But that isn't what I do, though. I look for imagine, like, again, I'm not a negative person by trait. So you look at where the positives could come, but you still.
Out of the two of us, I'm the more positive, right?
Yeah, maybe you are, but it's kind of like, what am I meant to do? Just go look. Imagine, I don't know. I could never be a content creator. Goes right. These are the 3 or 4 concerns I have about the manager, and I'm just going to focus on them and none of the potential positives.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pick a side, either negative or positive, in or out, right or left. You know the rules.
Yeah, that be the rules of social media. That be the rules of social media. But no, like,
Can't be logical or balanced.
I think Ten Hag. I do think Ten Hag could be a very good appointment for Man United. And what I was more pulling on actually isn't he's going to kill it at United. Is I don't believe this notion that some United fans pushed early on last week that because of how Ralf plays football and Ten Hag play football, they couldn't be married up. I don't. I just don't think that's the case. And you listen to Ralf talk, and he speaks about not being overtly prescribed to one way of playing football. So I think that's a positive thing. So for United fans going, will Ten Hag happen or not? I don't think Ralf being here and having a slightly different philosophy on football is going to be a deterrent from happening. It will come more down to what Ralf sees in this squad and the type of manager and style that's going to be needed to get the best out of them. And if there isn't Ten Hag and it's Julian Nagelsmann, but we've got to wait a year, we might wait a year for him. But as it stands right now, I'm willing to trust whatever Ralf wants to do, because he's the best person we've had running this club for 10 years. Even without, forget what he's going to do managerial-wise, just running the club and making decisions. He's been the best person since David Gill. So, yeah, I'm sort of
It will
very,
be
very
nice,
excited.
like, you know, if Ten Hag were the one to come in and he didn't play that 4-2-2, I wouldn't have to hear any more United fans explain what the 4-2-2 is in grave detail. You know how many videos I've seen on that?
One.
I've seen quite a few.
By who? Who else has used my phrase 4-2-2?
It's not your phrase. It's not your
Tell,
phrase.
tell me,
What what I have
find me the
seen
person.
is a lot of
Give me
videos of people saying the 4-2-2-2. This is how it works, and I saw it. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
No,
Oh, against Crystal
I'm
Palace.
joking. I'm talking about
You know?
who's used the phrase 4-2-2.
I don't know. That's just what it's called, isn't it?
There we go.
You
Neil here.
invented it? Come
Neil,
on.
no one's. It's just a joke. Oh my god, you're so hard to have fun with. It's been one game. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
talking
not
about.
hard to have fun with. I'm
I'm
having
not.
fun right
I'm just
now.
doing. I'm not talking about him managing the team well. I'm talking making decisions to run the club. Ralf has a pedigree of running clubs well, so I trust what he does. It's. Come on, bro. You know that. Jess, who would you choose to be the next Arsenal manager? Is what John's got to say.
Ten Hag, I will simply pass away when they hire him in the summer. I will never come back because that is the manager that we should have. I feel like he fits us a little bit better. That's just me. But I mean, after Ten Hag, I mean, the options just become who's more experienced than Mikel Arteta, you know, who could just get them to do something. You know, I do like Gaultier from Nice, who won League and with Lil, I do like him, but it's like that's not gonna get you off your seat. Yeah, it's looking bleak, but yeah,
Do you
whatever.
feel like
Here he goes, yo.
I'm not going to ask you because you're going to get upset? The problem is
No, go ahead.
when you ask Jess these questions,
You
you
guys, come
will know
on.
this, right? When you ask Jess these
I can
questions,
have fun. He's telling me I'm not fun.
you,
I'm the fun one of the two of us.
no, listen. What happens, Jess? Whenever you get asked a question which has a negative slant on about Arsenal, the
Because I
face
know what you're
goes.
going for. You're poking.
I'm not poking. I'm asking questions that have to be. If we didn't ask difficult questions on these shows, what would be the point? Do you feel Arsenal are in a position to attract a manager like Ten Hag? Forget what. I don't care whether you've mentioned this on other channels, tweeted about it. I'm asking you to address the straight facts audience. Do you think you're in a position? That's true. People do that sometimes. You ask them a question. They're like, I answered that yesterday on a different show. I'm like, yeah, different audience, G.
Well,
Do
I
you,
mean,
do
if you
you
are
do you think Arsenal are in a position to attract Ten Hag? Come on, answer that question, yeah. Without look, see the faces change already, people. Look, already. Come on. Come on.
yes, I think if you act like a big club, you can attract pretty much any manager that you want. You know, that's what I think. You know, if Spurs can go get Conte, I don't understand why we couldn't with our pedigree, with being a big club, with owners that have spent money. Tired of hearing Arsenal fans saying we don't spend money. We do. We just never have the right person with the wallet in their hand. You know, so it's kind of like of course, we could get Ten Hag if we really wanted him, but we'd have to act like a big club. Josh Kroenke would have to stop trying to be a millennial and try to be this young hip guy and go in there and say, you know what, actually, I'm serious about my life. Like, you know, it's just ridiculous, you know. But that's just how I look at it. You know, I don't think that we're so unattractive, especially because we don't have unusable players on huge contracts anymore. We have decreased the wage bill, good, young, talented players. I refuse to believe that that team is horrible. It's not. And guess what? If they are, Josh Kroenke has enough money. Our owners have more money than a lot of the other teams in the league. Like, you know, so For me, of course we could attract him, but Josh Kroenke's just so unconvincing. You know, he would have to go in there with his big boy pants on and actually act like he knows what he's doing, you know? So, yeah.
Look, listen, I agree with you. I think Arsenal. I think people, as bad as Arsenal have been on the pitch, Arsenal Football Club, Arsenal Football Club, you're one of the leading lights in the world. You just don't act like it. You're the reason you won't get Ten Hag is because of your owners. The reason you won't get Ten Hag is because they don't try hard enough. They don't put enough money up. They don't believe in themselves, or they go for a cheaper, easier option. And that's the kind of manager you should all be demanding. Now, of course, you always give whoever is appointed time. You know, famously, most of your squad didn't know who Arsene Wenger was when you employed him. It's kind of, I think it's almost impossible now to employ someone who's a complete unknown of that level with the internet, etc. But like, that's what you should be aiming for. My view is, unless you end this season disastrously, I'm talking 8th lower, you're probably not going to sack Mikel Arteta. So it almost becomes a little bit of not a pointless conversation. It's always worthwhile fans having, but that's where the direction's got to be from fans. Ten Hag is available in the summer. And a club Arsenal size should be fighting Manchester United tooth and nail to bring him in. And in fact, with the position you're in compared to us, and we're only marginally in front of you, outbid us. What United offering for 200 grand a week? There's 400 grand a week. Do make a statement. We want you to come in, you know, do whatever it is, you know. I don't know what the answer is, but get it done. You've got the ability to do it. It's whether you yield that ability. My theory is this, though. You know, we said about PR. I feel like it'll be spun if you don't get someone like him in the opposite way. Couldn't compete with what United were offering him money-wise. We were blown out the water here. We couldn't afford this. And then what that does, fans always lap this shit up. Fans of all clubs. This ain't an Arsenal thing. This is fans. Oh, yeah, well, we just couldn't compete. And we're underdogs compared to you. We haven't got your kind of, shut up. Like, none of our clubs are underdogs. Go out there and get the damn. When you're paying £300,000+ a week to Aubameyang, you can afford to spend big money. No doubt about it. We've got some super chats here.
It must be about me because you're
Oh,
laughing.
that's not a super chat. I'm not reading that comment out. It's not very nice. What we getting?
Why'd you laugh then?
Sorry?
If it wasn't very nice, why didn't you?
Because it's just.
Oh, Jess is not fun at all. Terry's
Yeah.
definitely more fun. And Jess's fake laugh. Oh my God. You are not fun. You are not. You guys, Terry is not fun. Like,
They agree. Jess here says,
only one person.
I agree with
you. City Express.
I agree with Jess. I'm happy with the moves United are making. That said, the way our club promotes it is unbelievably cringe, is what Jess has got to say. I think you missed my first super chat, but it's okay. Did anyone get the phrase? No one has got the secret phrase yet. We're going to have a little go at that a little bit later on in the show, my people. But no one's got the secret phrase yet. I kind of haven't pushed it for a few days because I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's running every day until we say it's not. John here says, Jess, why do beautiful women always choose bad partners, i.e. boyfriends, or teams like Arsenal?
Interesting. It's a very interesting question there. Look at that. Lincoln, Jess is fun. One Don, Jess is very fun. There you go.
I've heard that been said. Now that United have got Rangnick and possibly March next.
Imagine they got Jesse Marsch. I would just die.
Is he a Yank? Is he a Yank? Is he a Yank?
He's American.
A Yank. Okay.
He just got
sacked. We don't need the young Bob Bradley. We need to stay away from the young Bob Bradley.
Jesse Marsch. Oh, that would
Is he good?
No.
I can tell that. It says Conte at Spurs. Does that give Arsenal a free run at Ten Hag? I thought you were going to say a free hit. Free run at Ten Hag. Look, I don't know.
Arsenal, it doesn't, because we're not looking at a new manager. They are like, just give him enough time to turn it around. He'll get an easy run of results, and then he'll be back from the abyss. Like, I'm telling you, it's so funny. But Jesse Marsch to Man United seems perfect. He's out of a job, just got sacked by RB Leipzig.
It is not happening.
Plays a 4-2-2. Press.
I'm muting that talk. We're not having that talk on the terrace. It's not happening. You're not even putting that into the ether, people. It's not going into the ether. Finally, our club has direction. Rivals are worried. And do you know what, my bro? I completely agree with you. Completely agree. You're right. I was looking for the sound effect there. I couldn't find it. Well, that's Jess's last show. Well, after taking the mick out of me. Now, I'm not that precious, really. Maria Williams here, long time subscriber, one of our legends, says, as Jess said, if we get Conte, yes, they can. But the issue is that will the board back him and do the right thing? You know what? You're right, Maria. And what's interesting is that the Spurs board are breathing into the press that they expect. Well, I spoke to a journalist the other day that says he's been told by Tottenham that they are looking at what they call an unprecedented January transfer window, which could be great, could be bad. I don't know. Yes, your autofocus has gone funny. That's what that is.
It has. I can't get it. There we go.
There we go. There it works. If Man United call Ten Hag, he's answering the phone. If Arsenal call him, he's not answering. If the players don't want to come to Arsenal, why would managers? But do you agree with that?
That's one player, though. Like, that's one player. Like, the thing is like, I don't think one player not wanting to come or one player wanting Champions League and to go somewhere else is indicative of how every person feels about Arsenal Football Club. You know, so I get the sentiment that, oh, if one player doesn't want to come to you, then why would any manager want to come to Arsenal? But it's kind of like, you can always make 1 + 1 = 2 if you really look at it like that. But I don't think every single player would reject a move to Arsenal. And I don't think every single manager would either. Would some say no? Probably. Yeah. And if I was looking at our ownership, I would say, do I really want to do that? Maybe not. You know, but if Arsenal come calling and they're serious about something, you know, it's difference between a player that wants to play Champions League right now, backs themselves, and a manager that may want to be a part of, you know, the next level of Arsenal. I think it's different when you're talking about managers and players, but fair enough. You know, you can put that together and it makes a decent argument, I think.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Khaled here says AFC, so Arsenal needs to get Overmars first. He can get
absolutely. That's the whole point, is that Overmars has already said multiple times that he's rejected several opportunities to move from Ajax because he's waiting to clean up the mess at Arsenal. We all knew Edu is just, come on, you know, so it's kind of like, we need that more than anything.
I hear you on that. And in terms of cleaning things up, it's time for me to introduce you again to our title sponsors of today's show. Now, private internet access is a great way for you to surf the internet with better security. Your data, your information is more protected. You know, you might buy things online, card details, private information. Your data is not going to be harvested. At the same time, it helps to clean up your bandwidth, which essentially in real terms just means cleaner streaming, cleaner internet, less. Do you know what they do where I live? Like, this is legit, right? The internet providers block each other's lines and madnesses. The VPN stops that from happening to large degrees. On top of that, you get access to worldwide content. What I'm currently doing, completely above board, is I've got USA Netflix. It's much, much better than the UK version. There's films and TV series that are not available here. There's a new series out actually called The Mayor of Somewhere. It's got Jeremy Renner in it, who plays Hawkeye. And it's only available on Paramount Plus. You can't get that in England. I now got it because I got this VPN. So it's very, very good indeed. With the football terraces given you can see our names all over this here. You can see this as we scroll down. There's our name all in the advertising. 84% off their offers. If we click on that with a 30-day back money guarantee as well, it shows you how much from £1.63 per month between now until Christmas, you can get this deal done. You can sign it up and surf the internet in a far more secured way and get multiple access to content from around the world and be safe and secure in doing that as well. So go check out our title sponsors today. That is Private Internet Access. We thank them very much for helping make this show possible. Go and get that done. Now, a bit of a super chat here that says, if Ralf gets tops 4, will the Glazers take the easy route and convince him to become permanent? They may. Listen, I'm the other end. Like Dean Jones did an article yesterday. I shared a quote from it and the internet went mad. I'm still concerned we'll go the opposite way and not give him 2 years. Like almost learn from him from 6 months and then be like, all right, we think we've learned enough from you in 6 months. Rather than keeping him in here, go, right, we'll end that because that consultancy contract can be ended at any moment. It's freelance essentially with no compensation. I'm really worried that they cut it at the end of 6 months and go, we've learned enough. We can do it ourselves. Do you know what I mean? A bit like someone spending like a week like watching a builder build something and go, right, I think I'll give that a go. I just imagine us being the cowboys that we are. Is the phrase heartbreakers stroke checkmate? It isn't. Tonic here says, just curious how Jess learned so much about football. Did she play or does she work in the industry?
Yeah, so how I, gained this superior football knowledge to Terry Floors is that I used to play and I just watch a lot and I read a lot. And that's pretty much it. This is my whole entire life. This is all I do. That's pretty much it. But yes, that's how I became superior football brain to the guy to my left.
Cheers for that. Well done.
I'm getting kicked off. I'm never coming back.
Well done. Well done. Well done there. Well done there. Shots fired. Oh, I can take it. Jess has got... The thing with Jess is Jess doesn't know more about football. She's just more educated and has better articulation and uses more fancy words.
You said football palette.
Yes.
Football palette.
What does palette mean?
Like they were chefing it up. Oh,
yes.
They could have a fusion.
I didn't say that. You added that. See, you
guys, he said fusion.
I didn't. No, I didn't. They can fuse the styles together. The word fusion. So you're twisting it.
I'm not twisting it. I'm finding the clip.
She played for Arsenal. No, Jess didn't play for Arsenal. She played basically like soccer mom football in America. You know what I mean? You know where they just chase the ball around.
I played at a much higher level than you did. I would back myself against you in any football game, anything.
Oh, you think you beat me? So we do the
challenge.
You
couldn't make the team. You told me you couldn't make the team in school. What?
I made the school team.
You wrestled instead. You wrestled because you couldn't make the team.
No,
you guys, I played my entire life. I even played in college. Come on.
Hang on. Close the big mouth for a second and let me answer back, right? Just for a moment. I didn't start wrestling at all. I didn't wrestle. I fought. The reason I didn't do football is because I was so good at martial arts that I wasn't allowed to play football at school. Team GB wouldn't let me. That's why.
You guys, he wasn't good enough. He told me that he wasn't good at football, so he focused on fighting. I was good enough.
Let's slow down. Let's slow this down. Let's put it out there. When you're in the UK, I know you're coming UK into the season. When you're here, we're going to film this. We're going to do a football challenge. We're going to get a coach to run us through 5 football drills. I guarantee I beat you at the drills. I guarantee I beat you at the drills. What are you saying, people?
Did anybody see him try to kick the ball like into the tires?
That's not the point, though. So, are you accepting the challenge? And what we'll do, because I know you're rich, Hillary. I know you're rich, Hillary. Get your dad's credit card out and put the money down. £1,000. £1,000.
He always reverts back to the daddy's credit card when he's rattled.
This is what it's going to be. Not rattled. This is what it's going to be, right? £1,000 bet, right? Do you know what I mean? 1,000. Actually, no, I did better. I'll give you. If you beat me, I'll give you £1,000. If you beat me, you ain't got to give me any money. You just got to give your dad the credit cards back for a month and see if you can survive.
Game on.
That's the bet. Game on.
Game on.
A digital handshake. Like we're gonna shake hands on it, people. We're gonna shake hands. Don't leave me hanging. That's rude. We're shaking hands. That's done. That's locked. I'm gonna beat you at the drills. 100%.
You literally couldn't make the team in school, you guys. Like.
Yeah, but I'm still better than you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
you kick the ball with your toe, buddy. Like, come on.
Listen, I don't care. Toe.
Can't even find laces.
I'm gonna beat you in these drills. I'm gonna beat you in these.
Oh, it's gonna be so funny.
I'm gonna be quicker. I'm gonna be faster. I'm gonna be more accurate. I'm gonna score more goals.
Faster.
Yes, I'm faster than you. 100% faster at running than you. I'm older. I'm faster.
You know I ran track, right?
I don't care. I'm faster than you.
Oh my gosh, this.
I guarantee I'm faster than you. I know I'm gonna be. Come on.
You know what this is coming from, you guys, right?
If you throw out any
thinks because you're a man, he's a man. This is you guys.
I'm talking about my ability He's better than yours. Oh, he's just being a man. No, don't cut that. Don't throw any of that in there.
Watch him come with some small little ball this big. Say, "Oh, Jess, I didn't think you could use a regular size ball, so
No,
let's get
see what
one
you're
that's
doing
smaller
now, right?
size."
You're deflecting. You're deflecting. I haven't mentioned their genders once. You did. I'm just saying. I think technically at football, I'm going to be better, but part of the drills are going to be about speed, right? You're going to have to be. So I'm quicker, stronger, and better at football than you, and I will beat you in the drills.
I would even venture to say, like, me and Anita could beat you and KJ.
Hang on,
2v2.
I've seen Anita play football. She don't want you.
I will carry her. I will carry her because
You're
I
gonna have
believe you're that bad. I
on a
believe you're that
footballing
bad.
term, like she's like. You think I'm that? You think I'm worse than Anita at football? All right, cool. Me and KJ versus Anita and Jess at football drills. Me and KJ
Watch her message me now and be like,
we got this
"No."
on lock. We got this on lock. 110%. 110%. We've got this on lock. Maria Williams here with another super chat says, I actually was speaking about Arsenal getting Ten Hag. Sorry. Will their board back him? The phrase? Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Sorry, Maria. Sorry, I must have misread your previous super chat. Sorry. Yeah, look, there's no guarantees that Arsenal will back any of their managers because they haven't done so yet.
Terry, I don't agree with that 110%. I think they've spent a lot of money, but they have the wrong people spending it. Like, you know what I mean? Like having Raul and Adu in charge of that. If they gave that money to Overmars, maybe world-class players aren't coming in, but I'm thinking better quality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I disagree just slightly. I think we look at the Cronkies a lot, but there's a lot of Arsenal fans that still think that like we haven't spent any money. We have. It's just been on really bad players. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing. Yes, I will nutmeg him. Yes, I will. I see this in the comment section. I'm loving it.
You're not beating me in a football challenge. It is
absolutely
absolutely
you guys see how he's getting so upset? Oh
impossible.
my gosh.
This is not upset. No, not at all. I'm not scared. That's why your voice is getting high. That's why
actually,
I don't know why you're
you
scared.
lose to me, you need to wear an Arsenal kit. If you lose to me,
hang on.
You need to wear an Arsenal kit for a day.
You've got to promise me one thing, right? There's a caveat to all of this. If you try and turn this into some weird patriarchal thing, this is about football skills, purely equal, right? We're going to do the same drills on the same size pitch, with the same size ball, in the same weather, in the same country at the same time, right? It's about who's better at football. Agreed? This is not Mal versus, this is Jess versus Terry with Anita and KJ, the backup dancers here on this one. Like, we're doing this. When you
pull that hammy, it's going to be so funny.
Listen, even if I pull my hamstring or twist my ankle, I will still beat you in the drills. Still.
Okay.
I'm that confident in myself. But yeah, we'll do that. That'll be the bet. So if you win, you get $1,000. Or would you rather £1,000 or me in an Arsenal kit? You don't need the money. You got daddy. So we'll do the Arsenal kit. Do you know what I mean? That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. You will. There'll be a jet lag excuse. Oh, I've been on the plane for 12 hours. But there we go. Maria Williams says he's just chatting too much. Come on, Jess and Anita. I love her.
Anita's already said she's like, no, I don't want to do it, but I'll carry her. She can just stand there on the pitch.
I told you, like, look, I love Anita, but I've seen a footage once on Insta of her trying to kick a ball. Honestly, my 1-year-old better. Like, legit. No disrespect, Neats. Love you loads, but no. There we go. Why are people saying, come on, Jess and Anita? Anita's in the chat. Yes, Jess challenged me to football drills. So she'd be better at me at football. And I said, like, let's do it, like, head to head. And then Anita said it'll be me and Jess said it'll be me and Anita versus Terry and KJ. And I'm like, Anita's so bad at football, I don't think she wants that. I can kick a ball. Okay, you can. Come on in and join it. I don't think you can. I've seen you.
But we've seen you. That's the funny part is we've seen you too.
Yeah, I know. And if you think you can beat me, £1,000, put your money up. Put your money up. I
want you to wear an Arsenal kit.
All right, I'll wear an Arsenal kit if I lose. If you win, you've got to wear a Man United kit. On an Arsenal show, you do.
Nah.
with Bruni on the
That's
back.
violent. That's so violent.
With Bruno
No.
Fernandes on the back, because I know how much you despise him. Jess, are you planning on doing travel vlogs?
Yeah, I'm gonna vlog it for sure. Yes. Are you done?
No, I read a comment that made me laugh. It says Terry's channel comes down after drills for technical reasons. Yeah, yeah. By the way, I get full. I've got If that video never gets released, it's because that's another part of this deal. The Football Terrace owns the content rights to that. So if we don't want it released, we ain't releasing it. Me and KJ will put a smackdown on it. Is Jess Jess, you are going to the UK soon, right? In when?
Yeah, in April, May. Because it is too cold for me right now. But yeah, April, May, end of the season-ish time, around the FA Cup. You tore your ace, girl. Okay, that's fine. Just me versus Terry then.
Cool. I'm on that. Let's do that. There we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you all tuning in and having your say. Before we go though, I remember competition time. You can still guess for the Football Terrace secret phrase. We're going to go into the quick fire question round in a moment's time. So if you put a quick fire question in, make sure you have a little guess, you have a little go at trying to work out or guess what you think the secret phrase at the Football Terrace is. But let's do this. So, quick fire. My first quick fire question to you is: do you think this COVID outbreak at Tottenham is going to be detrimental to their top 4 chances?
No, not necessarily, because I think that the Premier League will do the right thing and postpone their matches. They didn't do the right thing when we had a COVID outbreak. Even though I would like to see this, like, obviously as like a rival and like a, whatever, I would love to see the same rules be applied to everybody. They did not want the first game of the season to be plagued by COVID. We had a COVID outbreak as well, but ultimately health and safety has to come first. And so when they postpone their matches, I think they'll be just fine. They'll be behind, but I think they'll be fine unless they have to go forward. If they don't postpone the matches, then yeah, because they'll probably have a bunch of kids out there, and Conte won't like that. But I know that they are going to postpone those matches, because aren't you guys around the corner from another lockdown as well?
Potentially,
So,
yeah. Potentially,
yeah.
yeah. They could definitely look at it. Shane here says, "I'll give the Terrace €50 if Jess wins." That's €50 we're never gonna get. But thank you, Shane. There we go. What's your question for me?
I didn't do my homework.
Come on, man. Don't come prepared. Viewers, get a quick fire question in, please, because Jess ain't done her work again. Jess is not ready for work today. Never ready for work, ever.
I came decent. Well, you already answered the question I was going to ask you.
What was that? I forget now. Can I beat you at football?
Well, you don't think there's a realistic chance that Arteta will get sacked this season? I was
Oh,
going
I
to ask you
do.
if you think.
I do think there is. I never believe. Everyone was saying it about Ollie. No, remember everyone's here to the end. I remember Gunnar Solskjaer was the worst for it. He's here to the end of the season. He's here to the end of the season. Stop talking about him being sacked. 4 days later, he's sacked. Like, if your results go wrong, it will happen.
Oh,
Terry,
I do have a question. Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
go on then. Go on.
No, okay. So if you were an Arsenal fan, what midfielder would you prefer to come in for us? Zachariah, who we're linked to, and Renato Sanchez. Which one?
Zachariah. Sanchez, for me, I don't think he's.
Say it. Please say it. Say it.
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know.
Because if
He's not good
they'll
enough.
listen to you. Nobody listens to me. I think he's so
He
overrated.
tried in the Prem before, didn't make it. He tried, but I know he was young when he went Bayern Munich. He's never made it at the big clubs he's been at. I know he's looked good in tournament football. I feel like I don't know how to word it right. He just isn't good enough for a consistent season. Now, Zachariah might not make it here either, but I'd rather take the risk on someone like him than a player that I've seen fail on the biggest stage now at least twice. So that's what I would go with. Jess question, Terry would, what?
Terry, would you put me up for a few weeks in May?
No. I don't know. No, absolutely not. Is the phrase clutch? No, it isn't, but thank you very much for guessing. Someone had a question for me. It says, Terry, what do you think of Helmut Gross joining Rangnick? Look, I think it's really good. I don't know much about the individual, but the fact that one of his mentors has come out of retirement to help him, it's a really good. It just feels good. I really like it. I like what it looks like.
PR,
It sounds like.
PR, PR, PR. You getting sucked in, Terry? You getting sucked
Hang on a minute.
in? You get
How is it?
sucked in?
Not PR. Not PR have hired him. I would like if they tried to
You're sucked in.
if they tried to portray
You're
him as,
in. They've
if
got
they tried
you.
to portray him as some kind of like master splinter who's coming out of retirement and he's like lining all the team up in the morning and he's giving these inspirational speeches, then I'll be like, oh, shut up. But the fact that he's coming out of retirement, I think it's a good thing. I really, really do. But there we go. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you. I'm back later on tonight, match reactions after the late games in the Champions League. So please make sure you're tuning in. Subscribe to the Terrace before you leave. A big shout out again to our title sponsors today. Private internet access. As you can see there, for £1.63 per month, you can have secure internet access, worldwide access to content around the world that you can stream anywhere that you are. It's available, I think, available across around about 10 different devices, your computer, your iPad, your phone, whatever it may be. And as I say, the most important element is nice, secure surfing of the internet. You can change your location, which means you can get access to certain types of content that are not always available to you wherever you are around the world. Go and check it out right now. An amazing, amazing company to boot. Thank you to them actually for sponsoring our show today as well, and for all of you for tuning in. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. The link for them, by the way, is in the description and in the live chat in case you don't know where it is. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.